we're going to cover the most controversial updates in Fortnite history. Like, for instance, did you know back in the day, there was almost an update that was added to the game that was going to have Storm literally destroy builds in the end game. Fortunately enough, this came out as only dev footage and did not actually make it to the game because it's pretty controversial. Who said it? If you learned something new today, make sure to leave a like rating down below. Double pumps being removed from Fortnite. Back in the day of 2017 and the early days of 2018, double pumping was the most effective way for close range fights. And it was so satisfying. Very broken, and that's why they had to get rid of it. But it was such a fun play style and super satisfying to master. I never really got to master it because I was a bot. Man, just watching back this old footage of double pumps, like, it's actually so hard. Fun fact about double pumps, I wanted to bring it back so bad when I got my icon skin nearly 2 years ago and we were doing the planning stages for my LTM tournament. I didn't actually pitch the pickaxe cup as the first pitch. The first pitch was double pump LTM, and Epic said no, which I understand, but damn, like, I tried to bring it back. They weren't having a bar of it. You definitely hate to see it, but like, at least give me respect points for trying to make it happen. Although I'm sure if Ali A asked for it, we might have got it because they gave him everything he asked for. Fortnite Drum Gun. This one was weirdly controversial. Obviously, we're talking OG Drum Gun with the OG stats. I remember when this one was added to the game. It was just such a broken gun, man. The fire rate, the damage, the headshot multipliers. Back in the day, obviously, everything was 2x. It was disgusting. And it's funny because, like, the green drum gun back then is still better than the mythic drum gun. And I'm talking Midas drum gun here. Like, you had to run it, and honestly, I kind of miss it. I don't know if it was as broken as the day one P90 though. That gun absolutely melted builds, had 50 bullets, and was just absolutely disgusting. Like, if you thought the Stinger SMG was bad when it came out, nah, dude. Gold and purple P90 were absolutely broken. Actually interested, what do you think was worse if you played it? The OG drum gun or the OG P90? I actually don't know which one was worse. Next up, we are talking zombies in Fortnite for the first time, or cube monsters as they wanted us to call it. Absolutely nobody called them that. Yeah, these bad boys were pretty controversial at first. I really liked them because they gave you shields. And yeah, the end games, they did grief a bit. I remember that time I won with balloons only because the zombies just griefed the guy at the end game. Competitively, I'm pretty sure it was very annoying, but I don't know. Like, I really enjoyed what the cube monsters did to the game. Would I like to see them back again? Probably not, but like, zombies were pretty good. But I know a lot of people hated them, but they're probably just bots, and you know. Unreleased storm tracker. This one isn't really controversial. It was only in the game for like an hour, and I remember this clip like it was yesterday. I was in Toronto and I see this backpack on the floor, and obviously this was, I think, maybe the jetpack update or something like that. It wasn't meant to be in the game, and it used like an asset from what ended up being a save the world back bling, but essentially it allowed you to see the next zone in the game. Obviously we got this eventually through the Storm Scout sniper rifle, which was definitely way better because it was also a gun. But yeah, this clip is just kind of iconic because it's just like, I'm so confused. And I saw this yesterday. Someone uploaded on TikTok, got like 10 million views. It's an iconic moment, not very controversial, but it definitely was one of those Epic did a oopsie, and like, you love to see it. I wish Epic did more oopsies because oopsies equal content. This was a fun memory. I do remember dying with it though and being really sad because I knew I wasn't going to get it again. And yeah, sure enough. All right, this one's controversial. We're talking Infinity Blade. For the record, I think this is one of the greatest things ever added to Fortnite. I remember I was in North Carolina for the Fortnite creative event where they flew a bunch of creators out to play Fortnite creative early. And I remember season 7 was just about to come out and we weren't allowed to play season 7, but we could play creative mode. And then Myth did a sneaky one and hopped on the servers and played season 7 when it wasn't meant to. And we were all crowded around watching him play Fortnite. This is the first time seeing season 7, like a good couple weeks before it came out, and they were doing internal testing. And he's just running around, you know, snow map. Wow, crazy. This is insane. But then out of nowhere, a sword comes out and just claps him like he's dead immediately. And everybody in the whole room was just like, what the is that? And after that, I was like, I can't wait for this new season. We didn't really get to play again after that because Myth got in trouble because he wasn't meant to be playing it. I think the biggest problem with the Infinity Blade is that they put it in that competitive, you know, playlist, and obviously there's only one on the map, and it absolutely went like crazy end game, and like we're talking cash here, so it's just a bit toxic when like you're getting griefed by a guy with a sword. So
the Infinity Blade is too good. It's so powerful.
And then they took it out of the game. Don't know if we needed to do that because it was really fun. It's one of the rare few times where Fortnite's ever been like, hey, we messed up. I don't even think they were that wrong. The adrenaline of trying to pick up that sword. I got it. Yes, let's go. This helps it down, boys. I don't think I've had a moment in Fortnite where I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, since that. I suppose the icon skin was pretty epic. I'll tell you what's not controversial though. My judging on the uTure show episode 2 is now live. It's a game show where we're trying to find the next big YouTuber and they will win 100 grand. Check it out. Link in the description. What if I told you there was a time in Fortnite where explosive damage went through builds? Because that is exactly what happened in the late months of 2018. They did a test where they would allow damage through the built. I don't need to explain how broken this was. Obviously back then as well, like explosives were a bit more common as well. So it was disgusting. Definitely one of the more controversial things Fortnite's done, but I kind of also low-key enjoyed I enjoyed a lot of these. I ain't got much but nice things to say about these updates, but that was a thing. Imagine you behind a wall and you just get hit 50 and then nothing you can do about it. Now in season 7, Siphon was added to Fortnite, and Siphon's kind of like how it is now in Arena. When you eliminate someone, you gain 50 shield and 150 mats, and this used to be in the public game mode but was taken out very controversially, and this was disliked by pros and casual players because casual players felt rewarded when they won, and it really helped with the third party situations because if someone comes in and lands on you after you finish a fight, you at least have some mats and some shield to fight again instead of being just picked off. And you know, it's always annoying to like have to get more shield and stuff like that. If you could just keep going, it just made it a much more enjoyable experience. And I think them getting rid of Siphon that first time was a big blow. Obviously it's still a game mode, no one really cares, and it's weird because you don't see Fortnite experimenting like they used to. Obviously they got all the data they needed back then, because another thing they took out that was very controversial in the game was of course glider redeploy. But yeah, back in chapter 1 season 7 they tested glider redeploy in all game modes, and the glide was kind of fast. They even said it was a test from the start. I really liked it. Like, it was really cool to just glide around the map. You could also bunny hop as well. Like, it was nice. I think the thing that really sucked about this one and made it kind of controversial is they didn't really add much to kind of compensate for the extra mobility we had, because mobility is always that tricky balance in Fortnite that needs to be good, and it feels like it's always crap. Like, we obviously started back in the day with no mobility, and over time it's just gotten more and more cracked along the way. There's always more rifts, there's always more vehicles, Ferraris. Like, there's always been this balance point, and whenever they take away mobility, it always hurts. But getting rid of glider redeploy was pretty controversial, especially to the bots who didn't read the patch notes and jumped off builds dying. That was actually kind of funny though. People were dying off builds because they thought glider redeploy was still there and it was updated and gone. Chapter 1, Season 10. Man, what a season that was. I think we all know where we're going with this one. The mechs. This is the mech. This is the mech. I'm not playing the game. I'm literally just not playing the game. Why would I want to play this epic? Season X was the first time I took a break on Fortnite. I was daily uploading till Season X. I have not posted daily videos on Fortnite since Max. Like, that is irreparable damage. Like... I don't really know if there's much else to say. This next one's a little spicy. If you guys remember at the start of Season 8, Chapter 1, we actually had pumps vaulted for the first time. Big upset. Everyone loves the pumps, but we got the combat shotgun. At first, I'm talking absolute trash about this gun and why it is the worst thing ever. Why would I actually use a shotgun? It's drum gun season, boy. A couple weeks in, this gun's the best thing ever out of the game. It had the range, it had the fire rate. Everybody, they got on board with it eventually. But at the time, it was very controversial. I remember Fortnite put out a stat saying that like 30% of all eliminations were with a pump shotgun, so they wanted to mix it up, so they introduced the combat. Food for thought. I'd love to see the amount of SMG kills going on right now, just saying. I put out a video trash talking the gun, all right? But yeah, that was a interesting time. Next up, we got the mounted turrets. Now, the problem with these lies in the early days, first couple weeks of them being in the game. If you were front on with somebody that was in a mounted turret, you couldn't shoot them in the head. You couldn't shoot them at all, really, if they were front on with you. It was dealing 40 and 60 headshots, and fire rate, like, it was really good. It was a bit of an interesting one. Mounted turret, you literally couldn't die on it, so it was kind of fair controversy there, that one.
That's a video game, everybody. We're the best. best gamers ever.
So the early day sweats of Fortnite realized that they could change their display settings and stretch their resolution. Now, what this allowed them to do was to see more field of view. They could see more horizontally and see more of their surroundings. And so a lot of pros opted to play it. Unfortunately, it came with the trade-off that the game looked awful to watch. And so Fortnite at a point removed the ability to stretch the resolution. Everyone got kind of mad. I never did it because I wanted to, you know, have a video that looked nice. They're still asking for an FOV slider like 4 years later. But yeah, for the competitive scene, that was a big controversial one. Next up, we got the Season X Turbo Build Nerf. Now, this one didn't make much sense. I'm gonna be honest here. I remember loading up into play this one, and my title for the video was so they broke Fortnite again, because they did. Like, you couldn't turbo build, so it didn't really make much sense at all why they did it. Like, I'm literally in creative mode trying to build 90s. Granted, I wasn't that great at building 90s back then, but yeah, they nerfed turbo build so bullets would get through. Builds were clunky. I don't know what kind of data they were getting there, but this one was definitely one of those ones that was an L. Let's not mess around with the turbo build. Let's not do that.